Hello and welcome back to my dry garden that I'm trying to keep alive. It's, we're almost mid-July already, and July is so far turning out to be just as bad as June, whereas in June, my little town area has only gotten about 1/4 of an inch of rain. The surrounding areas have gotten much more rain, and by surrounding, I mean literally just 10 to 20 miles away from me. They've gotten much more rain than I have, and yet here in my little corner of the world, it's been so dry. So here I am watering my garden. Now it's close to 10 o'clock in the morning, and I actually would have preferred to be out here much earlier, because when you water early in the morning or later in the evening, there's less ground evaporation, there's less evaporation of the water you're putting down, and the plants can absorb more. But I thought we were going to get a spot of rain. I was actually watching a blob heading our way, but it avoided us. It swerved to the left. I kid you not, there was this blob heading right this way, and it just went right off to the left. So here I am watering. And that blob actually was a lot of red and yellow, which would have meant a really good downpour, which the garden really needs. I was away earlier this week from the garden, and therefore these plants haven't been watered in 3-4 days now. So here I am, like I said, watering the garden. I don't know how it's been by you. Hopefully you guys are getting more rain, but if you're not, if you can feel my pain, leave a comment below. In these pots here, I have my Russian sage, and it's actually doing quite well because Russian sage enjoys the heat and the dry. So I only give it water, again, maybe every 4 days or less, depends upon how hot it is and how dry it gets. Again, these are in bottomless pots. I did a whole video on that a few, probably a month or so ago, maybe longer. I don't know. I can't remember. It's all become just a crazy blur. But the Russian sage are doing well. And now, allegedly, we're supposed to get rain today, but as I said, that storm just veered right over to the left of us, so totally avoided us. We allegedly, maybe, possibly, are supposed to get rain tomorrow, and there's a 75% chance. But I looked at the radar, and there's nothing significant anywhere near us. So unless it's going to be something that forms overnight off the coast, something along those lines, I don't know. Again, for any of you new viewers, people just tuning in, subscribe. I'm in eastern North Carolina. We do get rain during the summertime. This is probably one of the driest in memories to my neighbors who are local to the area. They can't remember a summer, or at least they can't remember a spring, a late spring that's been this dry. And I have lost quite a few plants and seedlings, but it's okay. This is gardening. This is what happens. You'll lose plants, you just replant new plants. Other plants are hanging in there, and some are absolute survivors. Some plants I have, I don't know if it's in shot here, but my Salvia Amstead? Yeah, that thing. Anyways, it's looking pretty rough. It's still alive, but it's not happy. The heat has just been a little too much, and the dry has just been a little too much for it. I don't think it's going to survive the season, which is very disappointing. Other plants I'm actually surprised about. My Rose Campion has been surviving, and I actually did not expect that to survive, but it's been hanging in there. I have some Rudbeckias, which are just hanging in there. Sweet Williams, which are just barely hanging in there. But most importantly, my Mexican sunflower is hanging in there. And it's growing pretty well, considering the heat and lack of rain. Trying to get a good soaking around the plant, because again, I probably won't come by and water this for another 2 to 3 days. Hopefully the Mexican sunflower will start to bloom and start to put flowers on probably August. And it will flower right on through till frost. Some of my golden ticket privet, they are hanging in there. I'm in the shady corner now of the flower garden. It's pretty nice out of that direct sunlight. And there's a pretty decent breeze, which is good too. Also over in the vegetable garden, cucumbers are doing well. They're stressing though. They're definitely stressing. And I try to water them as, you know, at least once a day. Try to give them a very good soak. What else? Peanuts are doing incredibly well. I think I mentioned that already. Watermelon, I've got watermelon growing. A bush variety called Sugar Baby. That one is in one of the raised beds, doing well. Being away from the garden, even just for a few days that I have been, I've fallen so behind on things. The lawn, surprisingly, needs to be mowed, which I'll do today. Despite the lack of rain, I don't know how or why the grass is growing. Yesterday evening, when I got home from my trip out of state, I did water the front of the house. Those beds are looking pretty good. A little on the stressed side, obviously, due to the lack of rain. I need to do some deadheading, prop up some flowers. I think the black-eyed Susan's sort of flopping over, so I need to prop that up. But overall, they're looking pretty good. One of the other exciting things that have been happening in the garden has been my crepe myrtle. And right now it's flowering and the bees are all over it. It's pretty awesome. Come out early in the morning to walk Sophie and it's just humming with all the bee activities. Also, the hummingbirds seem to enjoy the flowers, I think, because I've heard them around there. I've yet to see a hummingbird eating the nectar or whatever they're doing there with the flowers, but I hear them. Many of these plants are definitely stressed. A lot of these plants need deadheading. Hopefully get some rain tomorrow, which would be a wonderful relief. But hopefully for Monday's video, I can have a new project that I want to do. And actually, the one thing I really want to do, and I've been meaning to do it, I've been talking about it for a while, is build a couple of benches here for the garden. So maybe over the weekend, I'll go get some lumber, and then that's what I'll do for Monday's video. I will build a bench. I know, not super exciting, but I think the plans that I found for the bench are going to be exciting. So I think you're going to want to see that. And you guys got to look at this. I think this right here is Prairie Sun Rudbeckia. Hey, it's just a trooper. It's been holding up through the heat, putting out these lovely flowers. Back here I have a white zinnia. So if you're still watching, you get to see the white zinnia, which is fun. Never had a white zinnia before. Although the zinnias also, again, due to the lack of rain, really seem to be pushed back. These zinnia that I'm watering now, they were nibbled on by deer earlier in the year. So they've bounced back and now they're flowering. I think what I want to try to do next year is maybe over in the new section, one of the new section down by the dahlias, is do maybe like a whole 8-foot section of the flower bed of just zinnia. Maybe different colors, maybe all the same color. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below if you're still watching this video. Should I do a whole swath? This fall, I'm also going to do a lot of digging up of my gladiolus. They performed excellently last year. It was an incredible show, an incredible display for about a month of various flowers. This year, I got very few flowers. The deer nibbled on some of the few flowers I got. But what I do see at the base of a lot of these plants are baby gladiolus. So I think the gladiolus basically have overcrowded themselves. If you've grown gladiolus before and you think my theory is correct, let me know in the comments below. But I think the gladiolus have overcrowded themselves. So I'll be digging them up and I'll be dividing them. And I'm going to have a ton to give away to friends, family, and maybe a few lucky viewers. And these mums are barely hanging in there. This agastache right here, I think I'll be cutting back soon because the flower head's already turning brown on it. So if I cut it back now, I should get a second flush later in the year. Sea holly is now going over. So I'll be, I guess, cutting that back. I've never grown sea holly before, so I'll have to do some research on that. But if you've grown sea holly before and have any suggestions on if I should cut the flowers back, will it reflush, that kind of thing, let me know in the comments below. Again, I'm always looking for tips, hints, advice, suggestions. I'm a growing gardener, trying to figure it all out. As you can see, even despite the lack of rain, many things are growing. I'm trying to keep things alive by watering, and I'm trying to be strategic about my water so I don't waste water. I watered the vegetable garden here last night, and I won't water it again until tonight, especially now because we're getting close to 11 o'clock in the morning and it's really hot. And Sophie here does enjoy the heat, although she does enjoy being outside. If you haven't checked out the links below, check out all the links below. There's all sorts of good stuff down there. Vendor links, affiliate links, links to my website, etc., etc. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. Sophie here would very much appreciate it. We are growing. We're over 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to keep the channel growing, keep adding to it. There's so much going on here in the garden. There's so much more to be going on in the garden because I am growing a garden here in Eastern North Carolina growing zone 8B. And there's so much more to grow over the next 20 years. It's one of the nice things about gardening. I don't think you can run out of content. So listen, with all that being said, I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to take Sophie into the air conditioning. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Come on, Sophie.